Welcome to the Week 10 edition of the Davidson Football Player Spotlight, powered by J.J. Wade and Associates. I'm Jack Benjamin and joined by senior defensive end Nick Pearson. Nick, great to have you here. Team coming off a bye week, obviously some close losses, but what's been the message in practice this week?
Well, really we want to take advantage of the kind of rest and extra preparation that we had this week. We got in an extra practice yesterday on Sunday, and we also just kind of took advantage of not having a game last Saturday and using our practice time last week, kind of preview and demo some of the things that we might have to prepare for with San Diego.
What are some key improvements you guys can make on the defensive side of the ball? I know you guys have had stretches where it's been really good, but what are some key adjustments?
Well, I think any of our struggles have come when we're not all flying to the ball or when we're not necessarily trusting everyone, and trust is a huge thing, especially with our defense. Everyone does their job and things go well, and I think that the times when we've been at our best this year has been when we've each allowed each other to play off each other and do our own things, but do our own jobs at 100% and full speed.
One thing to note with this defense, you guys have a lot of older players, a lot of upperclassmen, senior leaders. You're one of them, obviously. What's it like having so many guys who've been there and have been through so much?
Well, it's a huge benefit. I think most of our senior class is on the defensive side of the ball, and just having that comfort of knowing someone that you've been with for 4 years and knowing how they think and how they practice and different things like that, and then having that leadership for younger guys who are asked to play some key spots from safety to corner to defensive line. We have freshmen everywhere. So being able, I think, to have that senior leadership that they can see us and, learn from that, I think that's huge.
It's pretty clear that you have a lot of fun, obviously, on the field, but a lot of people don't know it's been a long background, long journey for you to get to where you are right now, growing up in New Jersey, homeschooled. Take people through your background a little bit and how you got to the spot you are now as a starting defensive end for Davidson.
Well, I was, like you said, I was homeschooled, and so I didn't necessarily have the opportunity to play high school football until my junior year. I was able to play some Pop Warner and some rec league, and then finally the school system, Rancocas Valley, allowed me to play high school football for them. And so I wasn't necessarily highly recruited coming out of high school, but I knew that I wanted to come to Davidson, and so I spoke to the coaches here, and they allowed me to walk on. And so I actually came for the first time at the spring game prior to my freshman year. I wasn't great, I'm not gonna lie. I was like 200 pounds. I needed to get my weight up. I needed to understand the playbook. It was moving at 1,000 miles a minute for me, but I knew that getting on the field was something that I wanted to do. And so I just did my best to hone my craft and choose one key aspect. Today at practice, I want to work on this, or I want to do this. And so slowly I was able to work into the rotation a little bit my sophomore year. I had some injuries that year that kind of limited a little bit of growth. And then junior year, I was able to start playing a big role on third downs and spelling Thomas Sykes, who's a great defensive end for us before. And now this year, I've been able to start, and it's really nice to see kind of some fruition and, at the end of the journey, have some fun.
And it's worth noting, too, you were with a separate coaching staff your first 3 years. Now Coach Berlin, obviously Coach Abel leading the way. How's it been adjusting to this defensive scheme?
It's been very smooth. Coach Berlin understands our players, and they want to put us in the best possible position. So he and Coach Abel have a system where if you understand defense, I think you understand how to play football here. They just want you to fly around. He always says, hit somebody, don't tackle them. He wants you to maul them. And honestly, as long as you do that, you'll be fine. It's all the fundamentals that you've learned throughout all your years of football. And they're not asking you to do anything crazy. They just want you to do one job and, do it at a high capacity, and you're fine.
Final thing for you going up against a San Diego team this week, a 27-game PFL winning streak. They haven't lost at home since 2010. What's the key for you guys going in there to try to keep this close and try to pull off a win?
I think confidence. I know we can pull off a win, and San Diego is a tough team, but I believe that we're just as much of a tough team. I think that even though we might be 5-4, and they have an undefeated win streak, football is a game that any given day you show up, and I don't think that we're huge underdogs. I think that this is a team that we can beat if we go out there and execute and just play at the best of our ability that we know. And 100% buy-in, we'll show up there and we'll do exactly what we're supposed to do, and I think we'll come home with a W.
All right, well, Nick, thanks so much for your time. Nick Pearson, senior defensive end, on this week's edition of the Davidson Football Player Spotlight. That'll do it for us. Tune in this week. They're on the road at San Diego, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. You can watch on the W.TV and, of course, follow all the action on DavidsonWildcats.com. Again, for Nick Pearson, Jack Benjamin here. We'll see you guys next week.